Alert, alert, this is Charlotte Shotgun.
It's Joel Tatum, and it's that Little Gay Talk Show.
All the way from Houston, Texas.
Let's get into it, girl. Go, girl.
Oh, you usually start off, so I was waiting for you.
Well, I had to do the board.
Hello, everyone. Hello, internet friends.
Hello, internet. Hello, everybody on Growlr. How y'all doing? We're live. We're doing their live thing.
They're live
today.
streaming.
They're live streaming today because we wanted to try out their live stream. You've been doing their live streaming solo.
Yeah, for a long time.
For a long time.
For a long time. No, literally, like not even a month, but a long time in quarantine is more than 2 days.
A long time in quarantine is like 7 years.
A long time in quarantine. I mean, one day passes and it feels like a whole year.
Mm-hmm. And I'm still in quarantine. So
Quarantina.
Yeah, I'm still in quarantina. Waiting to go. I found out from a friend of mine that they will be opening up my store again.
Oh, jeez.
So, but not. It won't be anytime soon.
Oh, it is going to be open, though.
But it is going to be open. It'll probably be open like late September, like sometime in September, maybe October.
One of these days.
Near gay Christmas.
Near gay Christmas.
I love me some Halloween.
Oh, Halloween. I thought you meant like real Christmas. I'm like,
no. I'm not really a big Christmas person.
Me neither. I'm just here for the food.
Mm-hmm. No, that's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, that's... Mm-mm.
I mean, yeah, same thing.
Thanksgiving is like...
My family makes a big party for both.
Cooking, eating, and cooking some more, and eating some more. Oh, I can't wait.
Last year, I spent Thanksgiving in Indiana, inside of a casino with a bunch of people that I'd never met before, because I was RVing. I was living in Kentucky.
I did spend one Thanksgiving inside of a casino in Louisiana.
It wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. The food was incredible. The food was like $50 a person.
Well, the buffet in Louisiana was a little less, and thankfully enough, I'd been doing well at the machines and on the blackjack table. So, we went for their international buffet.
Ooh,
and we ate good.
Lobster shrimp.
At one point, I had $2,000 in my pocket. I went up there with $50. At one point, I had $2,000, and then I went home with $50.
When I went to Lake Charles and I went to the casino, I put $3 in, and I made $58. And then I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling lucky. I'm gonna use the $1 one," and literally in seconds, it was all gone. But I was like, "At least I only wasted $3."
Yeah, exactly. I went with the last time I went with a group from LULAC.
LULAC,
yeah,
what is that?
It's the League of United Latin American Citizens or Voters. I think they call themselves voters now, but
Team Uncut.
Well, it was amazingly enough. It was a bunch of mostly older Hispanic women.
Oh,
myself and a couple and the rest of us, and I was younger at the time, so we were the youngest people on the bus.
Oh wow!
And
how did you get into that?
My friends at the time, my roommate at the time, his mother invited me. I became a part of their family because I spent so much time at their house. So I became.
Nice.
They invited me to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they invited me to come along, and they thought I was going to be uncomfortable because. And I had to remind them, I grew up around white people. This ain't nothing to me.
Uncomfortable like at a casino?
No, on a bus full of Hispanic people.
Okay.
At the time, this was like 95, 96, something like that. And they thought I would be uncomfortable because because sometimes Latin people and black people can have issues sometimes.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah, which is the craziest thing to me. It's always been so crazy to me because even in high school, I got along with everybody.
Yeah.
And I went to a multicultural high school, and I hung out with white people, black people, Hispanic people, Asian people. I hung out with everyone. So I was, and that's just the way that I was raised.
The life of the party, Joe.
Yeah, that's just the way I was raised, to be around different people. My mother insisted
My mom talks to everyone, so I kind of created that trait, picked up that trait from her.
She said we spent actually, it was more my grandmother. My grandmother's like, we spent, look, my generation spent a lot of time being segregated. You need to be out in the world enjoying it, because now you get to enjoy it. So get out in the world, meet everybody, have fun with everybody, do your thing with everybody. Don't just sit at home and chill. Well, don't just hang out with black people.
Oh, okay.
And get to know everybody.
Literally, just go out.
Yeah, literally just go out and meet different people.
Explore.
And explore.
My mom is the other way. She's like, why are you going? He's like, why are you moving? Like, why do you move around so much? She's like, you're not going to find a stable job. I'm like, I don't want a stable job, Mom.
Let me tell you something. And I'm going to tell this to everybody. And age, I'm going to just mention your age simply because I just think it's fun. You're 26, girl. Have fun with it. Move around. Do your thing. You young girl. And everybody who's now my age, you should do the same thing. I'm giving you the same advice. You've lived all your life. You've done all your stuff. If you want to go out there and travel and do your shit, this is the time to do it. Because you've already lived. You've already had your experiences. You've already done all the dumb shit and all this other stuff. Now get out there and go do some more dumb shit.
I'm still doing dumb shit every day.
I know. Go out there and do some more dumb shit and have a good time. Because now at least you're a little older, a little wiser.
It was like, give us that crackhead energy that you that you've been craving your whole life.
Because a well-rounded human is not only wise but foolish.
Period.
Period. And that's from the vagina to the grave.
From the vagina
to the grave. You
like you chose to get in that egg, didn't you? You chose to develop.
Well, no one.
6 to 9 months, 6 to 8 months.
Well, that was not a choice that any of us had.
Yeah, we were just running away. We were just running for our lives, swimming for our lives.
I can imagine that me as a fetus, I was like, "Oh, I love this apartment, but I can't wait to get out."
And then when you get out, you're like, "Fucked, I'm done."
And it's like, well, it was my trip in that one where this is from. I don't want to come back. I'm not coming back. It's like, it's like when you graduate from high school, you don't want to come back.
Oh, never. I just tell people I never went to high school, so it's such a bad memory.
So, are you a platinum gay or are you a gold gay?
Me? Like, what does that mean?
Okay, so this is a little old school.
Have I been with a vagina?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you're a gold gay. A platinum gay has never been with a vagina.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I dated a trans man, so I did a lot of things there. That's TMI. Let's cut that out. That's transphobic.
I can't. You said it. You said what you said. That's not transphobic, is it? I don't think that's transphobic. No, not really. No. That's not really transphobic. That was an experience, but that was not that's not transphobic.
I wasn't dehumanizing anyone.
It's not like you said, "Oh, it was the first time that I slept with a black guy." Which, by the way, I don't know. Is that? I don't realize. I don't think that's really. Why does? I don't think that's really.
Well, I just get triggered when people say Spanish people. I'm like, am I in Spanish, bitch? I'm Hispanic or Latinx. Get it right.
Well, is Hispanic even a term? It's more Latinx, isn't it?
I mean, Hispanic is more of a proper way of saying it. Saying things. Hey, Jordy.
But, I just think Latinx is...
Latinx is just like... it's just... Because I don't know, I identify as non-binary. So it's not Latina or Latino. That makes sense.
No, it makes...
And then it's also anyone listening to, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm talking about Latinas or Latinos,
So, yeah, I think it makes it easier because you don't...
When I do,
there's no gender assigned to Latinx.
Yeah.
It's just everybody. Any person who's from any of the Latin American countries.
Even with, like, my things that I do online, it's not mistress or it's not master, it's like MX.
MX.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, how does that work in the world of BDSM?
It's just called MX, like
just MX.
It's like neutral saying Mr. or Mistress, like whatever.
Please more MX, please more.
Never. They're not even allowed to talk.
May I get a thorough spanking, please? I went down BDSM road for just a short period of time.
What did you get into?
Well, I tried the bondage thing.
Like what?
I did the dungeon thing. I was strapped to
Did you get flogged?
Flogged.
Paddled, spanked,
I got paddled.
Cut?
No. We didn't get...
Okay. I'm just naming all the things I've done.
Yeah, okay. Well, you've done more than me.
Oh, I've done too much.
I tried a few things.
So
I learned some things about myself. One, I don't like to be tied down, literally and figuratively.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's relatable.
Literally and figuratively.
Relatable.
I do not like to be tied down. Mm-hmm. We tried the handcuffs. Never felt comfortable in those. I did like the spankings, though. The spankings were wonderful.
Yeah.
I did enjoy
it. The whole thing is, I like it because I don't necessarily like spanking, but I like flogging people because it just like is a different, it's a euphoric feeling for both the person getting flogged and the flogger. It's not, because when I was asked people, I'm like, are you into flogging? They're like, oh, yeah, I like to get the shit beat out of me. And I was just like, no. That's not what I'm here for. And I'm here to make a connection with you. Are you down or not?
And I think, at the time that this happened, I enjoyed being I enjoyed having someone else have control.
Yeah.
Over what was happening and letting them take control. Me being vulnerable was very hard. I learned how to be vulnerable because of BDSM.
I have yet to become submissive to anyone. I feel like I haven't made the right connection with anyone. So I've always been the dominant person that takes advantage. Well, that takes control of the situation and is the one doing it. But I have yet to find anyone that I can be like, hey, like I want you to, like break me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I want you to, like let me see. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, it got pretty psychological the last time
Yeah, it is. It is a really big thing, and communication is a really big thing with with that whole thing.
I was told after the session was over with, I was told, Joel, you have always been being submissive comes easy to you. That's a problem. You need to learn how to be in control.
Yeah,
and I was taken aback. By the way, I'm taking psychological advice from a truck driver.
Oh, period. I mean, sometimes I know,
but
they're well-rounded.
But he seemed to be well-rounded and knew what he was talking about because he's like, Joel, being submissive just comes way too easy for you. It's not fun. You need to be more in control.
Yeah,
I feel like you need to be. I feel like you've been submissive your entire life. You need to take some control. And it was one of the rare times. I'm not a big crier, but it was one of the rare times I cried because I'm like, wait a minute. I have taken care of mom and dad. I've taken care of brothers. I spent my entire life taking care of people. The one thing I wanted to be was someone to take care of me. And he's like, yeah, but that's the problem. You need to be in control. And being in control for you is something that you're afraid of. And you need to try to explore that a little bit.
That's I can see where he's coming from. That's relatable too.
So I kind of took that experience and went, I might need to talk to someone professional about this because I think that he might be right on certain levels.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he might be.
As a person that is like dealing with all that and everything, you have to take into consideration the submissives, their body reaction, their mental health. For me, when I did vlogging to a lot of people, I would always check up on them like until the week after, just to make sure that there was no mental I didn't mentally fuck them, or I didn't do anything to them. Like, hey, good morning, how are you feeling today? Even if it's just like checking up on them because it's like something completely different. You know what I mean?
I completely understand. Just to let everybody know, we are live streaming on Growlr right now. Anybody I need to? I think you're live streaming on your phone. We're live streaming on my phone. So we're live streaming all over the place.
Yeah, we're all over it.
We're live streaming all over the place. Anyone we need to say hi to on both sides or
either side? I think it's like mostly people going back and forth on mine and yours.
Yeah, I think so because I think they're confused about what's going on. What are they doing? They got microphones up. These bitches are taking this shit too seriously.
For real. Send us some diamonds.
Well, exactly. Well, this first part of the episode is brought to you by TV's Woodworking. TV's Woodworking, he gives you wood.
He gives you the real wood.
He gives you the real
hardwood.
The real hardwood. This bitch makes all kinds of wood products. He did a very nice cutting board.
Beautiful.
Ensemble. Yes, with the name of the show on the cutting board.
Logo and everything.
Yes, exactly. I can use it to not only cut up some meat,
but to paddle someone.
And, well, Lord, it might be too big to paddle someone.
That's okay. Some people like it big.
I guess so.
That is a freaking huge ass piece of wood, though.
No,
it's not like it's a small cutting board. It's literally a huge ass board.
It's a huge ass board for. Well, it's not a huge ass board, but it's a pretty big board. You can
make like a cheese platter on it.
Yeah, I could do like a professional cheese plate on it.
Yeah.
And it would look so cute.
I think that's like the new trend that's happening is people are so bored at home they're making cheese platters.
I went out and bought fruit and grapes and I got some cheese in there for like when I want to have like an afternoon where I'm just relaxing and sitting and binging something on TV.
Oh, I'll eat the whole thing in 20 minutes.
Crackers and all this other stuff. I put some meats on there, because I gotta. Doctor said you need to eat a little healthier. My weight's a little high, but it's not as high as I thought it would be. And
I would like to be higher. I'm just kidding.
And for a 52-year-old man, I got a pretty good dad bod going on. It's not nothing sagging just yet. It just a couple of things need to be lifted up just a little bit. But that's like 100 push-ups. Well, not 100, but maybe 30 to 40 push-ups a day and some sit-ups. I have a gym membership, but I haven't been able to use it because I've been sick back and forth. I quit smoking like half a year ago, and now I'm dealing with all the consequences because my lungs are trying to heal themselves from all that other stuff and get rid of that stuff. So I'm more susceptible to bronchitis and pneumonia and all that other stuff.
Does it eventually go away?
It eventually goes away after a while. It does the longer you've smoked, the harder it is for the longer it's going to take for your lungs to heal.
That's crazy.
So I smoked for 30 years.
Oh.
So for some people, they quit smoking and they were fine. But for me, nope.
It's healing. It's a healing.
It's a healing. So, yeah. So I feel like we went from talking about woodworking. By the way, for those of you out there who are listening, if you go to the webpage, by the way, I'm going to be making some very important changes to the webpage because I have to put Charlotte in the webpage because in the webpage it's all about me.
All about you.
Yeah,
Jan.
Yeah, it's
Joel.
Well, actually, it's Marsha.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not from that
Jan,
generation. I just watched the movie on Netflix.
You've been more the Jan in this relationship. You've been more of the Jan in this relationship, so we're gonna have to elevate you a little bit more. So,
it's Jan after she got her hair done.
So after she put on that Afro wig.
Oh God, RuPaul was shaking.
I know, right? But yeah, so we're gonna elevate your status a little bit. We need to fix the
I'm gonna
web
be
page.
A diamond member.
She's gonna be a diamond member on the web page. So y'all don't get confused going. Where's
that other girr?
Where's that other girl? Y'all keep talking.
Where's that freak with the green hair?
Where's that other girl? Y'all talk now. I'm gonna have to. You and I are gonna have a little chat afterwards because I need to give you access to the web page.
I have access to the
because I have mostly all your.
Will you send me some links and stuff? And then I was like, what does this mean?
Well, that at the beginning that was. Yeah, I just wanted you to see the webpage.
Okay, yeah.
Because at the beginning, I didn't know where we were going to go because I didn't know if you were temporary or not. And I was
it looks like we're here for a minute.
Yes, I saw. You know what? I'm confused though. You have another. Do you have another Facebook page?
I have two.
Yeah,
because one for
because I have your Charlotte Shotgun page.
It's the other one is completely irrelevant. It's not. It's literally nothing.
I'm like, first of all, who is Pistol or Pistol. I'm like, who is this
That's
bitch?
her real last name. I'm just kidding. Do you know what my real last name is?
Didn't you tell me what your real? Did you tell me what your real last name?
Let's keep it at Pistols. I
think you did tell me what your real last name.
I think I did.
Yeah, and I forgot, and I apologize.
It's
yeah. I think you did tell me your.
I adopted that guns as my last name. Mm-hmm. Anything with a gun, anything gun related.
Mm-hmm. So I think you did tell me your last name, but I completely forgot what it was because I'm not. Well, maybe for legal documents later on, I'm going to need your last name. But for now,
it's Miss Shotgun.
Yes,
just people that don't like me, it's shit guns.
Mm-hmm. But for now, I think we don't need to go there. I know Charlotte Shotgun, and I know Scott, and that's all I need to know right now.
Period.
That's all I need to know right now. So
that is all that we're here for.
Yes, that is all that we're here for. We ain't here for nothing else but.
So speaking of the wood, don't we have a fun little promotion going on with them?
Oh, yeah, we do have a fun little promotion going on. If you go to the website, which we were talking about, but then we meandered off. If you go to the website and click on the bottom on Tuvi's Woodworking, when you go to his website, type in Little Gay 20.
Little Gay 20.
Little Gay 20, and you will get a discount.
L-I-L or L-I-T-T-L-E?
No, it's just L-I-L, gay. Little gay.
Little gay.
Like a little gay.
Little gay.
He's just a little gay.
A little gay. Mm-hmm. Not a lot, but a little.
Not a lot, but a little.
Like not a lot, but a little bit.
Or, he's my little gay, as in my little short man with the big dick.
Oh, with Tuvi?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, Tuvi's not short. Tuvi's.
I never met him.
No. Ooh, Lord. Ooh. I don't want his wife coming after me.
She's listening to us right now.
Yeah, I don't want his wife coming after me.
She's in a message on the Growlr. Like, I hear you, doll.
I'm going to get a message the next day when the show goes out. I don't know what I don't know why y'all talking about his dick. You better take that dick out of your mouth.
One bad review is like, stop talking about his dick.
I know.
We'll know who it's from.
Mm-hmm. Just type in Little Gay when you go to his thing, and you get 20% off. I think it's 20% off.
20% off. Yeah, I think it was 20.
Yeah, you get 20% off if you order a cutting board through him. Now,
cutting board. Send us a picture, and we'll send you whole pics.
Yeah, exactly. He will custom make a cutting board just for you, any way you like it. And trust me, if you go to, he will have. I think he has designs up of all the stuff that he's made for other customers. Yeah, I looked at his site the other day. Mm-hmm. So he has designs. So it will give you ideas. You can use any kind of wood. Now the prices are going to vary when it comes to wood.
Wood and wood size.
Yeah, wood and wood size. The prices are going to vary depending on what type of wood you want to use. But he will work with you on that. So
yeah.
And you're going to get a discount anyway. Get the best.
Tell him we'll send you and we'll give you 20% off.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're going to get the best.
You know what to get your mother-in-law? There you go.
There you go.
A piece of wood.
Get her a piece of wood.
She can cut herself. Mm-hmm. Maybe cut some things on there.
Don't get your brother-in-law that same piece of wood, though, because, stuff might happen. Lay down the wood. I know. Don't lay down the wood.
Only on the mother-in-law, but not on the brother.
No, not on the brother-in-law or any of the male members of the family. I'm just kidding. You give it to anybody who you want to give it to.
Give it to everyone. Get everyone the same thing for Christmas.
Everybody deserves wood.
20% off.
Yes, everybody deserves wood at some point in their life, in their adult life. So just
get that wood.
Get that
mahogany, baby.
Get that mahogany, baby.
But that's pine.
But that's enough. You know what? We were making up for the fact that we forgot to mention him on the last show. We did forget. BlackBerry was on. I was geeking.
Yeah,
I was geeking. I was geeking so hard. I feel like I might have made BlackBerry a little uncomfortable.
I was like, "Hi, this is my friend BlackBerry." Like, I know who you are. I'm like, okay.
I have all of these, and she was surprised at how much.
I know her face.
Her face.
I wish we would have recorded every time you brought up something. Was just like, oh,
how did you know that?
How did you know? She's like, blush, gasp.
Oh my!
How did you know?
Gasp! I'm sorry. I watch old reruns of RuPaul's Drag Race. So
RuPaul's
thing.
Lake Fest.
No matter what y'all say about that bitch, I still love that bitch, even though that bitch makes a lot of mistakes. And I know, she's old school. And
she is old school.
And I understand.
She needs a
here's the thing.
Bar.
Here's what people forget, and I want people to remember this. This is what people forget. The reason why he has this show is because, one, he wants drag to be a part of mainstream. Mm-hmm. And two, he is slowly getting away from his female persona. He is going to want someone, he wants to leave a legacy. So he's going to want someone to take over that legacy sooner or later. And he wants, so.
I don't think there's anyone equipped to do it, though.
Not yet. There are a couple of queens.
I think the only one that I could kind of see a little bit is maybe Bianca. Mm-hmm.
I'm torn between Bianca and Bob the Drag Queen. Now, Bob I have told you, you need to watch season 12 of the Pits, season 11 and season 12 of the Pit Stop with Bob the Drag Queen.
You did tell me that.
She is hilarious.
Speaking of recommendations, Joel, that movie,
which movie?
Life's a Drag.
Life's a Drag. I know it's a little weird. It was, I'm telling you,
Life's a Drag. Literally, I was so like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. And also, I never heard of that bar. It's in my neck of the woods, and I was like, what the fuck, is this even real? Mm-hmm. It's like Elektra, and I was like, oh my god. Elektra was sickening, though. Her makeup was beat for the gods.
Now,
but the other
is
one,
Elektra
the main
South
character.
Florida?
No, I never heard of her. The only one that I saw that's on there is Nicole T. Phillips, and she was like the black queen that did Aretha Franklin.
Yes.
I've heard of her. I've seen her. I performed with her because she's still doing drag. But all the other ones, I've never head of them. Okay. Head of Lettuce, which was that they mentioned her, but I don't think she was in it from the Keys. I've heard of her as well, but I've never worked with her. I've never been to the Keys. But that whole thing was like kind of cringy.
Well, I wanted to get an idea.
No, that is not South Florida drag.
Okay, yeah. Well, I wanted you to watch it because I wanted you to tell me exactly.
No, it was
whether it was close to what South Florida drag is, or
I mean, that's what it was back in the day. That whole
look, I know the movie wasn't. Look, I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't the greatest movie on earth. Some of the movie didn't make sense, but
right, most of the
movie didn't make sense.
I'm over here trying to figure out why the judge is at the bar. The
judge's wife was at the bar.
Yeah, but then the judge was at the bar at the end, and then that lady that was taking
well, that's because
the
the judge's wife had been coming to that restaurant for quite some time.
I know, but still, like, it's just like in real life, like that wouldn't even be allowed to make communication. Outside
that would be like,
and then
he would not be able to preside over that case.
The social worker too, getting drunk at the bar, and I was just like, come on,
and coming out as lesbian, I know.
I think I missed that part.
I know. It's all fantasy. There's no way that
that whole thing.
A judge in real life, no, he wouldn't have been able to preside. He would have been disqualified from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fantasy. It's movies. If you have common sense.
And she was like, 11 years old, and she traveled from Seattle to Florida.
Exactly. Are you kidding me?
I was like,
in real life, this bitch wouldn't have made it through Texas.
No,
she wouldn't have made it through Texas.
She probably would have not even made it out of Washington.
Exactly, because 11-year-old girl on the bus by herself, no,
without a parent. No. And like, how is she eating? How is she?
Yeah, exactly. How does she take care of herself?
Because she said I didn't have any money when she got the Coke.
Exactly. So, I would like to think that she had enough money to get there, and then she ran out of money.
Maybe.
If I had a child, and I had found out my child got on a bus to go halfway across the country,
that is literally
I would have died so many times. So many times.
The mom is like, at least mine fit better. Like, we heard you on the first time, Diva.
But like I said, it's a fantasy movie. I mean, come on. No, I'm not saying
for those of you trying to figure out what we're talking about, it's called Life's a Drag, and it's free on Amazon.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon, yeah.
And let me tell you something about Amazon Prime and their LGBTQ movies. They're terrible.
Period.
They are terrible, terrible movies, but they're fun.
Yeah, they are.
And by the way, I need you to look. They have some 70s movies from that I went, oh, I didn't know they made LGBTQ movies in the 70s. Look at me. I was a child in the 70s that did not know. Well, of course I wouldn't know, but the thing is that I'm like, this was made in 1971. That's Rue McClanahan sitting at a bar, and that bitch looked the same like she did in the 80s. I'm like, she don't really look that. She still looks like Blanche sitting at a gay. She looks like Blanche sitting at a gay bar.
I'm screaming.
Yes, and I was like, oh, that's Rue McClanahan in a movie. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm sorry.
Send it to me.
It was from 1971. A couple of you out there might know, and a couple of you who are watching us on the
big screen.
On the big screen. We're like I said. Let's remind everybody where we're at. We're on Growlr Live. We're doing a 2-phone thing. We have the widescreen on my phone, and then he's doing a little short screen on his.
Yeah, I'm about to turn it off because my phone's about to die.
But if anybody out there can remember the name of the movie with Rue McClanahan from 1971 about a gay bar in New York, and I think she plays an actress who surrounds herself with gay men, and she is the cattiest bitch in that movie. And I'm like, oh, yes, queen, yes.
The diva has risen.
The diva has risen.
I'm
yes.
excited to see this.
Mm-hmm. It was not that great of a movie, but her scenes were to die for.
I feel like in going back to the Life's a Drag movie, I feel like they try to give everyone like a catchphrase.
Well, don't you think that's every gay movie though?
I mean, I think we actually said that last week.
Yeah, I think that's every gay movie, especially movies. You know, I enjoy catchphrases from movies with drag queens. I do not enjoy catchphrases from movies with gay men. I just don't think it works.
No,
I don't really think
it hits different.
Yeah, it's different. But I enjoy catchphrases when it comes from drag queens. Because drag queens are naturals when it comes to catchphrases. Yeah,
it's like, come on.
And half of the time, they don't even know they're doing a catchphrase.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, that's. I feel like gay men try to do one, and drag queens, it's just natural to them.
Can we talk about the worst part of the movie? I will have to say the worst actor in the movie was Ram Ram's sugar baby. Oh my god!
Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched Life's a Drag. He's doing spoilers, and I apologize. Don't really go out of your way to watch it, but if you want to, please let me tell you something. Let me tell you.
Is it a spoiler? Because I think it's just
Let me tell you in the audience something. I was up one night. We were in the middle. We were deep in the heart of the pandemic. Deep in the heart of the pandemic.
Is it pre or post Tiger King?
This was
pre or post Tiger King?
Tiger King pissed me off so much. I can't believe I watched this shit, all 8 episodes.
The Tiger King?
I went into it like, I read all the articles online because I was bored. And people online kept telling me, Joe, you need to watch this. I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch this bullshit. First of all, I'm not really into documentaries that much unless there's a subject matter. I mean, crime documentaries I'm not really into.
Yeah.
Watching how somebody got killed is not my cup of tea. But my friends kept insisting, you need to watch this. You need to watch this. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. So I watched it. The first episode I went, oh my God, I can't even believe this is going on. This is the weirdest thing. I can't wait to get to episode 2 and then 3. And then I just watched the whole thing and went,
I'm already on episode 4. Let's
I'm
finish
I'm already here. I might as well finish
That's how I felt about the Life's a Drag. I'm like, I'm almost done.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost done.
I'm one of those. It is a rare movie or documentary or TV show or anything else where I will stop in the middle and say, I'm not watching this shit anymore.
I don't think I've ever done that either.
Unless
I'm completely bored.
I've done it a couple of times. Where I went, oh, hell no. I'm not wasting 8 hours on this.
Yeah.
Fuck this. No. It doesn't happen often. I've sat through some terrible shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes that terrible shit is hilarious. And I'm like, you know what? This is so bad. But you know what? I just want to see it to the end and see how bad it really, really gets. And by the way, there was Iron Fist at one point. I can't even believe I sat through season 1 of that.
Iron Fist?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not fixing to explain comic book stuff to you right now. I need to have another comic book nerd on this show to talk about that. But I'm not going to explain comic book stuff right now. But
the books of the comics.
But like I said, I don't want to, I have sat through some really, really bad things, and they were entertaining. But there have been a couple of times that I went, nope, can't do it, won't do it. That's it. I'm done. Mm-mm. But I wish Tiger King was one of them, because at the end
the whole thing is just stupid.
I was so pissed off because I didn't know who to be pissed off at more.
Right? Everyone, you guys are all stupid. I'm just kidding. You guys are all. There's something wrong.
Everybody's scum in this thing.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps throwing all
the only real winner in the thing was the new wife of the guy who took over the thing, because she got her titties done. I don't know if you noticed that, but she went from bam to bam.
Honestly, the only
the only winner.
The only redeeming character in the whole thing was, and she was misgendered, by the way. I thought.
I saw that too.
Yeah, I thought she was. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought she was lesbian throughout, because they described her as lesbian.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing.
Well, they misgendered. I
read the article later, and she is FTM.
I think they released another article saying that they misworded what she said, and she's actually non-binary, so she's very open to all pronouns, but she was offended that someone made an article saying that she did not prefer, I'm sorry, just whatever, that they did not that they made the emphasize saying that they misgendered her, where she said in the actual interview that she doesn't mind any pronouns.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was like an update to the update.
Yeah,
and I was just like, oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was not... She was the only person in the entire series, with a couple of the worker guys. The one guy who was just like so devoted to him. Who...
The one that saw his husband get shot?
No, what?
The one that was in the office while the other guy shot himself?
Oh, yeah. Like
his
campaign,
manager,
his campaign manager. I felt so bad for him. Can you imagine?
I feel like he was like the only normal one, but then I saw they released an article saying that he had like attempted murder.
Oh God! See, even the ones that you think are.
I thought he was normal. Then I saw it was like attempted murder. Then his mug shot, and I was like, damn.
Even the guys that you think might be like okay turned out to be crackheads or whatever.
Literally everyone on that show.
So I guess that the only redeeming character in the entire is a non-binary person. That's the only.
That's it.
Yeah, but his foreman. His foreman actually was okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, his foreman was okay because his foreman.
Gentleman?
Yeah, because he had worked by his side.
Is it the guy that with the legs?
Yeah,
with the no legs?
Yeah. He had worked by his side the entire time and was still loyal. But the fact that you know what was fascinating about the whole thing?
What?
There are more tigers in captivity in the United States than there are actual tigers in the entire world, and that's scary.
Like out in the wild.
Like out in the wild. Actually, that's the scariest shit on the planet.
Scary.
That is scary. That's some scary ass shit. Because I watched a documentary on tigers, and tigers don't have no problem with eating you. Tigers have no problem with eating you.
They're going to have the revolution one day.
They're going to have the revolution, and I don't want to be in the woods when that happened. And there have been, and in Texas, there was, this happened a few years ago, where I think a bunch of lions escaped from.
Someone said, but is it because they're trying to save them? I think it's a half sort of thing. I think some people are trying to save them, and then the other half are just keeping them as like gems.
Yeah, exactly. But no one in that. There's no redeeming no person. Every person in there was just scum of the earth.
Yeah,
the whole thing, the whole operation needs to be taken down.
The whole thing.
These tigers need to be returned to the wild. And
some of them have never even been in the wild.
Yeah, but let Mother Nature take care of that. Let Mother Nature take care of that. I'm sorry. All these tigers need to be back in the wild.
They do. They need to do something about that, because that is ridiculous that you brought that up. That it's there's more in captivity than there is out in the wild.
And then out in the wild, even though in the wild their numbers are starting to tick up a bit because they are doing a bit more stuff to keep the habitats alive, especially in India and all this other stuff, and keeping those going and everything else. The numbers are slightly starting to uptick, but there's still more tigers in this country than there are in India.
Yeah, and they're not even native to this country, right?
And they're not native to this
That's crazy.
This country. We seem to introduce animals in this country.
Bro, we're just bringing everyone.
Florida's the worst. Y'all got all these snake problems with these pythons and anacondas running around that do not belong.
Oh, God.
That do not belong in Florida at all.
My
because these people keep buying this shit and think, oh,
they throw them out in the yard. My professor had a python and then he couldn't take care of it, so he sold it to one of his neighbors, and he interviewed the neighbor and everything. He's like, "This is a suitable person." So then my professor was doing something in his yard, and he sees the snake, the same snake in the yard. So he picks up the snake, puts it in a thing, and then goes to the guy. So I was like, "Hey, like, what the hell? Like, why is the snake that I gave you out?" He's like, "Oh, it just got. I couldn't take care of it, so I had to let it go." I'm like, "Those snakes are not supposed to be in the wild.
They're not supposed to be in the wild." You know what? We're 40 minutes into the show. You realize that?
We didn't even talk about the thing. We didn't talk about.
Oh no, we still have plenty of time, but we're 40 minutes. We haven't taken a break.
Let's take a break.
Yeah, we need to take a commercial break because I had to put in commercials for the show.
We gotta apply eye cream.
We gotta apply eye cream. We need to have another cocktail, but we need to apply eye cream and get ourselves together. So,
period.
We will be. I'm going to take off my head for those of you on Growlr. Yes, I'm going to take my headphones off. And I'm going to push a little bit of a button here because that's the way you do a show. But for the rest of you, we'll be right back.
We'll see you soon.
And we're back. Yes, I was able to successfully bring us back into the show without me having to break down the show into 5 different parts. You know, when you have to edit a show, it's much easier when the entire show is together than when it's like broken up into several different pieces.
Yeah, into 7 pieces.
Yeah, because then you have to join them and you have to make sure everything sounds great and everything else. So we're back and we're in the second part of the show.
Part 2, baby.
Part 2. And you know, we haven't even gotten up. We have been talking so much.
We did. We were catching up. I think we have guest after guest after guest. We just haven't, chatted.
Yes, exactly. We really have not sat down and chatted, just the two of us, and just done a show together. Because I think people need to see how we are together.
Yeah, because we're just interviewing people. It's so nice to have just us.
Yes, exactly. And, people have told me, a couple of people have told me, that the dynamic between the two of us is actually quite good. It's very awesome. Natural.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's been natural from day one.
We're just 2 homosexuals loving and enjoying whiskey time.
Exactly. But I feel like that you and I have, even when we didn't have whiskey time, you and I just enjoyed just talking to each other.
Absolutely, yeah.
And, when I listen to I produce another show. And my friend who's doing the show, he was interviewing a new co-host for his show. And they did a show together, and they did not have chemistry.
Yeah, well, some people just don't know how to talk.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's the proper way to say it.
And I literally, I stopped. When they took a break, I had to tell my friend. I said, "You need to bring it down a notch because you're overpowering the person who's going to be your co-host." But the co-host at the same time was like, he was not just talking, and I'm like, "You need to be able to
talk more, buddy." Here's an Adderall.
Yeah, you need to be able to. You millennials and your Adderall. Good
baby,
Lord.
That's communion to the church.
I know. But the thing is that I had to get them to try to connect. And by the way,
meet at a halfway point, I guess.
Yeah, meet at the halfway.
That sucks, though.
Yeah, I know. By the way, it didn't work out.
Oh, God, period.
And it's
sucks,
fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay because sometimes this is how you have to do it. For his particular brand of show, he needs someone who is just as
up there, needs you at the same level.
He does a very political show, so he needs to be someone who's able to keep up with him.
Yeah, the other person, how did they even meet?
I don't really know. I think they met at a bar.
Christian mingle. Okay.
I think they met at a bar. I don't think he would ever be on Christian Mingle, but yeah. But I think they met at a bar and they just had a great time talking to each other. But
that's awesome.
But they talked to each other.
Maybe his friend was scared of the microphone or something.
I know, but they talked to each other after they had cocktails.
Yeah.
So that's what they did.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Cocktails.
You know, with us, it was like,
courage.
With us, it was like, hey, yeah, I'm in an RV and I would love to do your show. And I'm like,
I think after the first time
sure.
I talked to you, I literally had just worked out. Then I just literally came back from running a trail and doing a bunch of fucking exercises. And then I was like, okay, I guess I forgot. Fuck this interview. I'm like, I'm in my car.
I know. I was like, oh, okay. Well, actually, you were not my first choice. It was actually another choice because he's like, oh, I'm going to drive down from the north side of town, which is like 45 minutes away. I'm like, are you really going to do that? Because that's a long drive.
Yeah.
To come into Houston to do that kind of thing. And he's like, yeah, I would love to do it. I'm like super funny and I have this going on and that going on and blah, 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 blah. And I went, okay. Well, I never heard from him again. And then
that's annoying.
And then
Flakes.
You were like, you know what? Sure, I'll come over. We could talk about it and everything else. Because I wanted to hear your RV story was amazing. And I went, okay, well, he'll come in, he'll talk about it, and then we'll probably be done. But then I went, when he sat down and talked, I went, you know, this guy's fascinating. I hope he's going to stick around for a while.
Yeah, I'm here.
And I'm glad that you stuck around for a while because I didn't know that you were, like I said, I didn't know if you were going to stay around permanently. I just thought you were going to be here for a little bit.
I kind of like it because it gives me something to look forward. And then it also, like, going into what we're going to talk about later is it made me, like, look into things that were freaking hard to research. It's just like, damn, I have the capability of, I know, you know, when you have school projects and stuff, that's what I felt like. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's go in. This is a cool topic. It's something that we use every day. Well, for me, every day.
Well, you know, I just literally thought that you were, like I said, you were from Florida. You were fascinating. You were traveling around in an RV. You were a drag queen traveling around in an RV.
With 2 cats and an abusive boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly. And, oh, I didn't know that part.
No, just mentally. Okay. Not physically.
Okay. Oh, wait, we talked about that. Y'all need to go back to that interview because we did talk about that. We did drag queen in an RV. Go back to that interview because I can tell you right now, the most amazing interview I've ever done. And it was really where I started to go. And I really want to say this.
The gears were turning.
That's when the gears started to turn. That's when I was like, oh, my God, I think I can do this.
Yeah, because I remember you were telling me a little backstory beforehand.
Yeah, because if you listen to the earlier episodes, by the way, listening to the earlier episodes, I can understand why a few of you might go, oh, I don't think I want to listen to this podcast.
Give it another chance.
I don't think I want to listen to I was going through some hard times.
Same.
I was going through some hard times. I lost all the people who was on my podcast beforehand. We were in the middle of a pandemic. I was scared out of my mind, and I did not know what was going on. So I did the best that I could, and I kept it going. And
you made it happen. You made it work.
I made it happen. I made it work, and someone sent me and by the way, I want to thank you for this. It was a person who left a review on Apple Podcast, and he told me exactly what I needed to do and how I needed to get the show off the ground. And I've been listening to him ever since. And I've started to understand something.
Do you know this person?
No, I don't. It was just someone who left a review and said exactly what was wrong with the show and what was right with the show. And
have they ever commented again?
No, they haven't, and I wish they would because
I wish they would.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I want him to. I think that
maybe he'll come across us again and.
I think that he gave me the advice that he needed to give me, but I do not think that I really care if he comments again because he gave me exactly what I needed to get.
He gave you I guess a life realization, like a report card.
Yeah, exactly. A report card of what I need to do.
So that's good when people do that. And it's cool that you actually like processed it, looked at it, and did it, you know? Because some people are just like, fuck you. But
yeah, because when it's constructive criticism, when
absolutely.
It's one thing when someone says, oh, your show sucks.
Like, your mother sucks.
I'm like, okay, but why does it suck?
Tell me what I need to work on.
Well, I and I'm like, but
did you listen to it?
But you listened to it. You said it sucked. But what do I need to do? What do you think?
If you're gonna say a comment and you don't have
constructive criticism,
then don't say your comment. Keep it to yourself. If you're not here to help us grow and strive, then we don't need your unnecessary comments.
Here's the most beautiful thing that he said. I'm glad that there's another Houston podcast, but let me tell you what you're doing wrong. And then when he told me, and I'm like, you know what? I do need to work on that. And I have tried to work on that for quite some time. But at the same time, I was at a point where I didn't know if even I wanted to do the show anymore.
Yeah.
And,
sometimes it takes a person like that to, open your eyes a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe you're in a fog and a gaze, and then he's like completely took that shit away and is like, come on, what else do we have?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what else are we going to, how are we going to improve? What are we going to do?
So I'm actually very grateful for that. And by the way, that was a person who was on Growlr. By the way, this is why I love Growlr. This is the person who went on Growlr. He listened to the show and he left that comment and he told me exactly what he thinks of the show. And
Growlr.
Yes, and he told me exactly what I needed to do. And I went, okay, I'm going to take some of this advice because some of this advice is really good. But I also have to remember that it's still my show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know how to do certain things.
Well, at least you took the advice and you processed it in the way that you wanted to process it.
Yeah, exactly. So taking criticism means that you can take it, and if you listen to the advice in it, if you could just pull in some certain things that could possibly work, but still keep you in the whole ideal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's meant to be.
Exactly. It's what's meant to be.
That's good.
So, what we got going on, girl?
Speaking of Growlr, I feel like Growlr, if you're out there and you just started listening, re-listen, and every time you hear the word Growlr, take a shot. Because today's topic is Growlr, actually. So, I called Joel, and I was like, hey, he's like, what is this week's topic? And I was like, you know what? Something that I can't find any information or anything on the internet that I use on a regular basis is Growlr. So I did my research, and it might sound like this is English 101. I'm just kidding. So I did do some research, and I did find some interesting facts because you can't even find a wiki page on Growlr. You can find one on Scruff, you can find one on Grindr, you can find one on Tinder, on Bumble, but there is no wiki page or any history on this mysterious site.
Why is it so mysterious?
I have no idea. I really don't know why. Like, maybe it's because no one in the beer community has stepped up and made one, or because it's not like because I thought maybe like the owner of it had something to do with it, but no, the owner is public and everything. He's a public icon, but it's just nobody has done it. You know.
Why don't you talk about the owner for a little bit? Cole
Kaminsky, like whiskey, but with cum in it.
For most of us,
that's literally how I remembered it.
Yes, that's 2 a.m.
Kaminsky.
That's 2 a.m. after the gay bars are closed.
Kaminsky.
A little whiskey, a little cum.
A little whiskey. That's me on a fucking Saturday night, leaving the Eagle, leaving the trade stick I sucked. I'm just kidding.
You've only been in Houston for a little bit.
And I worked at the Eagle for 2 weeks, and there's 7 days in a week, 14 days. I got 14 clients lined up. I'm just kidding.
I love the fact that your new Facebook page says move to Houston. You know what? I have to say this. It kind of made, I didn't tear up, but I was like super happy. I'm like, he's actually here in Houston now. So now I can work on our Facebook. Now I can work on the show page because I'm like, I don't want this bitch to be temporary.
No, I moved to Houston.
But I would have still had all your stuff.
I don't have a trailer anymore, so I'm stuck here until...
I thought about the idea of having a revolving co-host.
Yeah.
Because I felt like that maybe this might be good for the show. And it's still good for the show in a way. So because of all the co-hosts that I've had, they've always been revolving. So I always want the show to be a show.
Your expectations weren't high.
No, it wasn't. No, I think I like the idea now of different perspectives. It's my show, so I'm always the person in the show.
Yeah.
But, when it comes to the idea of a revolving co-host, I kind of like the idea of that. Mm-hmm. So
someone new for every chapter.
Someone new for every chapter. But I feel like that, and I say this with all my heart and soul, I feel like this bitch going to be around for a long time.
I'm not going nowhere.
This bitch ain't going nowhere.
I ain't going back to Florida. Too many warrants.
No, it's not going back to Florida. This bitch is going to be on this show for a long time. Y'all might as well get used to her being on this show for a long time.
Get ready.
And, we still have our regulars. And, I thought about, by the way, I might talk about this at the show. But, we have our regulars now that come on every now and then. So, I like the idea of having regulars on every now and then. So we'll talk about that after the show.
The regulars.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about the regulars after the show. Huh? But the thing is that, I have enjoyed being, and by the way, we have had a lot of whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
He and I have not.
The whiskey has been there. The whiskey bottle is famished.
Mm-hmm. It's almost famished. But, he and I have not. This is the first time that you and I have been like a little bit on the tipsy side in quite some time.
Yeah, ever since that one episode that never got aired.
That never got aired. And
the episode that never got aired.
That was unfortunate. But
I will say it was nonsense. It was chaos, but it was organized nonsense and chaos.
Well, let me have a little bit of that, girl. Let's show these queens how to do that. Oh, that's enough.
Okay.
That's enough. But I will say this.
It's a Florida pour.
I will say this, though. We had a good time.
Yeah, we did have a good time.
And sometimes not every episode needs to be. It's all about. I think we all got to know each other.
Yeah.
And we made friends.
We did.
And we had a good time.
When you hang out with someone on an intoxicated level, it's just like freewheeling.
Exactly. And even then, after the whole thing, even when everybody woke up with a hangover the next day going, what the fuck happened last night? We all went, you know what? Girl, I like you. You all right.
I mean, if you see someone drunk as shit.
I know.
Yeah, it's relatable. Mm-hmm. It really is relatable.
Now, we're talking about the other. Now, he and
we got hearts. Someone's sending us hearts.
Oh, look at someone sending us hearts. Look at that.
Send us diamonds.
But the thing is that, for you to come, and I'm so glad, it's so hard to come into a new city and try to make friends.
Oh, yeah, very, very.
It's so hard.
It is very hard.
Yes.
Especially with this quarantine thing happening. Because I've been able to make friends just going to the gay bars and stuff, but, this has been really hard. I was actually looking, sometimes you get in your feels, and I was just like, damn, I really have, no friends here. Then you had texted me about the show, and I was like, oh, never mind, I got Joel. I was like, or even when my car broke down, I was like, what the fuck do I do? I was so scared. Because I was in the middle of nowhere and my car broke, and then I was like, who do I call? Then I called Rudy, then Rudy wasn't picking up. Then I called my other friend Paul, then I was like, hey Paul, I haven't talked to you in 4 weeks after we hooked up.
This is what's called adventure. Sometimes you have to get out there and
it really is.
It really is. Somebody is saying hello.
Adventure.
I keep seeing hearts.
Hi, 9-leg.
Hi, 9-leg.
I got 2 legs. You got 7 more than me.
Okay, wait. Why is he called 9-leg? Ask him why he's called 9-leg.
Why is your handle 9 legs?
Because I don't. Because that might be. We might need to talk to you.
Are you a spider with an extra?
Now, oh Lord, you might be somebody we need to talk to.
I almost touched the screen thinking that it was... Okay, so going into Growlr.
Yes.
Let's do it. So Growlr was developed in 2010, which is 10 years ago. So this app has been active for 10 years. Isn't that fucking crazy? And like I said, the developer was Cole Kaninsky. And he actually sold the website in 2019, so it's been a year since it's been taken over by a straight website. A straight person bought the company.
Who?
I don't know. I think it's Intel.
Okay.
I don't know who that is. But I just said straight company buys Growlr as one of their headlines that I found.
Okay. Honestly, Grindr has had their issues with whatever's going on with China and all that other stuff. They had
Grindr?
Oh, you did not hear that? By the way, he answered you back, by the way.
Number and name.
Number and name of what? We still don't know. We still don't know what that means. But the fact of the matter is that Grindr went through a little issue because they're owned by a Chinese company. They were owned by a Chinese company. Wow.
That's crazy.
And they had some issues, girl. They had some issues. So
are they better now?
Are they?
I know. I found my sugar daddies on Grindr.
Okay, you know what? Grindr has never. I've never been on Grindr.
Never ever.
I've never been on Grindr.
Okay, it's whatever. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm only on those sites to promote my social media. Length of muscle, like a 9-inch leg.
Oh, look at you, length of muscle. Okay, all right. Everybody's 9 inches on Growlr, sweetie. Everybody's 9 inches.
I think he means his leg muscle.
Oh.
Is 9 inches big on the leg?
I don't know.
I have thick thighs, so I think it's bigger.
I don't think that's what he means. This is Growlr. Are you really think he's talking about his leg muscle?
Sent us a shout. I'm kidding.
Are you really think he's talking about his leg muscle? He's talking about the one muscle that we all love most. You know,
the ears.
His dick bitch. His dick bitch. You know this.
A dick. What is a dick?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
A uvula.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you know what? We need to take our second break.
Okay, we'll take a second break.
We're gonna take a second break.
And we'll come back on Grindr.
And we're gonna come back
on Grindr.
Well, no, I mean for the podcast, we need to take a little bit of a break.
Okay, yeah, we can.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna finish out with what are we finishing out with?
Cheers.
No, I mean show-wise. This bitch is talking about Cheers.
I don't know. That's too bad.
We have 35 to 45 minutes. You know, it's gay time.
We're taking a mid.
You know, this is a gay talk. This is a gay talk show. You know, we say that we're an hour and 30 minutes, but we never are.
No, girl. We're like, I'm 5 minutes away, bitch. Okay. I'll see you in 30.
Exactly. Hey, girl, I'll be there at 5 o'clock. Okay, I'll see you at 6.
Oh, he said my muscle that makes one feel very good.
I told you it was a dick thing, girl. Where did you get thighs? Why did you even think he said thighs?
Some people like to fist with feet.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put you on blast.
We'll see you soon.
I'm gonna put you on hold, girl, because I don't understand why you thought that 9 inches was thighs, girl. And we're back. I'm going to have to join the last part of this. I guess it has a limit. So here's the thing. We're in the last 35, 45, whatever minutes of the show.
Yeah.
This is gay time, everybody.
The gay time has started.
It's gay time. Y'all know what gay time means.
When gay things happen.
Yes, exactly. You know
it's when time is gay.
I know. You know what? How many times have you gone out with your friends and they're like, so what time should I pick you up? 6 o'clock. Okay, so pick you up at 6 o'clock.
They didn't get in there until 7.
And then they get here, and they're like, girl, what you doing? I just got out of the shower. Girl, it's 6 o'clock. You told me to come pick you up at 6 o'clock. I just got out of the shower, girl. I had to, I had to put on all my stuff, and I got to get my clothes. Real. It's going to take 2 minutes. 35 minutes later.
They're like, let me do a little quick smoky eye. I've never done makeup before,
exactly.
But let me do a smoky eye.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of advice on how to handle your gay friends when you tell them to come at a certain time and you still not ready.
That's me, though. I was only 20 minutes late. Mm-hmm. But that's because I fell asleep, and then you know what woke me up?
Well, I fell asleep too.
You want to know what woke me up?
What?
I got a text message from you that said, I read the first part, but when I woke up, it said, "Make it a venti," sent by Joel. Oh yeah,
yes, because I really wanted some. I don't crave coffee that often.
Yeah.
So today I was like, you know what? I really would love a coffee from Starbucks. And I thought that I would put a little whiskey in it and make it really cute.
So good.
Really cute. So I went, okay, well, I'll just leave him a note before he gets here because I know he's probably still at home. I know he needed some time to rest. So let me send him a little note to let him know, hey, since you're going to be on your way, will you stop by Starbucks and get me this? And, of course, he didn't. He left his wallet at home, goddamn bitch.
Well, I made it to the Starbucks, and then I realized, oh, fuck. And I had already turned back because I left my book home with my notes in it. I was just like, damn, and I was already like far out, and I was like, fuck.
Oh my God. Why didn't you tell me you were already at the Starbucks? I could have given the barista my credit card number, because I've done that before.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I could have given the barista my credit card number. She would have put it in, and I could have paid for it right then and there.
Oh, well, next time.
That happened one time. A friend of mine was, at the time I was not a big Starbucks person.
Yeah.
I'm still not, but, I like a coffee every now and then.
Yeah, it's okay. I worked there for like 5 years.
So he called, and his friend was like, girl, I forgot my wallet. Girl, I got this. Just hand the phone to the barista. The barista took the phone, typed in his credit card number and everything else, and paid for his shit. And that was it. And I was like, girl. She goes, girl, you got to be smart about this stuff. They know how to punch it in. That's all they have to do. And I'm like, you know what? I do the same thing working in a restaurant, so I know how that is.
Yeah.
So that's actually a thing. So if you,
I almost asked him, like, can you Cash App me?
Yeah. So
because I think I could use because I have my Cash App card connected to my phone. I was like, let me see if Joel will Cash App me, and then I'll be able to pay for it. But
and we're living in that age where you could have said, girl, can you Venmo me?
I don't have Venmo.
Girl.
Can I tell you a story about my Venmo? I bought furniture.
I had PayPal, girl. I could have PayPal'd you.
Okay, PayPal too. I had a friend that they paid me $500. I don't remember for what. I think it was for like something that I sold them. Anyways, long story short, they wrote drugs as the note. My account got flagged. Why are you getting sent $500? And why have they sent you $500 before? So they shut down my account for under investigation.
What the fuck, girl?
Those $500 are still on there.
Oh, what the fuck?
Those $500 are still on there.
One of my friends at the beginning of the pandemic, I was freaking out because I just lost my job.
Yeah.
I tried to hook up with unemployment. It took weeks.
I got denied. Fuckers.
Weeks. It took weeks. That first month of March, it took weeks. I didn't actually get my unemployment until May. So it took weeks. Thankfully, I had a support group of people who made sure, and by the way, I still had money. So I still had enough money in the bank to make sure I had enough money to pay the rent. I had enough. Yeah. So I still had a little bit of support, but money was starting to run out, and I was worried about eating every day and everything else.
When you buy the ramen noodles. But during that time, there was nothing in the stores.
Yes, because everything kept getting run out. So in the beginning, people, kept sending me money and all this other stuff to my mother, thank God. Oh, my God, my mother was my biggest lifesaver. She sent me a large enough amount of money to make sure that I had 2 months' rent paid. And I was like, oh, my God, Mom, what do I need? Do I need to pay you back or anything? She's like, no, you don't have to pay me back. You're my son. I don't think that I need to do that. And I'm like, Mom, but you're living. I know how you're living, and I know that you're out of work too. I don't want to She's like, sweetie, don't worry about it.
Yeah, my mom is like that. My mom randomly sends money, and she texts me. I'm just like, oh, thank you.
But the beautiful thing is that I hadn't talked to my mother in 21 years.
Oh wow.
And I'd gone to Atlanta the year before, and we finally touched base and everything else. And she explained a lot of stuff to me that made me go, oh, now I understand a lot of stuff that's going on in my life. I finally got to put a closure on a lot of things that I was always wondering about. And thanks to her, she was able to put that closure on my life.
That's good.
So when the pandemic started, she, I said, hey, I just need could you loan me a little bit of money so that I could eat and take care of a couple of things? She goes, have you paid your rent? I'm like, well, I'm not going to worry about rent right now. Have you paid your rent? No, I haven't paid my rent. So she paid my rent. She took care of everything that needed to be taken care of. I'm a 52-year-old man. My mother paid my rent. By the way, my mother is also a working woman. And she, 70-something years old, still works, everything else, so she had no problem with it. I worried about her because with this virus knowing that it's going to take out old people, I worried about her, and she has been perfectly fine through this whole thing. In the meantime, I've been sick the entire time. I had been sick.
I quit smoking and bam.
I quit smoking and bam. Yeah, exactly.
The sickness came.
And then the sickness came. And she warned me about it because my grandmother did the same thing. I thought it was so ironic.
That's funny.
She told me the story about how my grandmother had also quit smoking after smoking for God knows so many years. And then she came down with asthma and had to deal with all the lung stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, is that what I'm going to have to deal with? And that's what I have been dealing with.
It's crazy. And then it's like you can either continue smoking and not really fix these crazy things, or you can stop smoking for the better health of you, but at the same time your body will react to a certain way.
You know, the amazing thing is my doctor said that if you had continued to quit smoking, you'd be fine. But because you chose to quit smoking,
your body's reacting.
Yeah, exactly. So, by the way, it's a good thing that you did, because it's going to be a good thing for you
in the future.
In the future, but
I feel like smokers always have like these deep wrinkles.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can always tell when someone has.
I'm looking at.
Girl, no. I'm talking about like an older age, when you've been smoking for 50 years, 60 years.
I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I don't have the deep wrinkles.
You don't have the deep wrinkles.
I look pretty good, but I do droop. Black don't crack, but I do droop. I do have some drooping here and there.
Some droopage.
I do have some droopage, and I know that it could be put up with a little bit of bam, lift it up.
A little moisturizer. A little
bam, lift it up. But, you know, a good soap, a moisturizer.
I'm 26 and I'm drooping.
Oh, good Lord.
Look at that. I used to be like this now. I'm like
so much improved. And by the way, I don't wear shorts. I stopped wearing shorts because I got eczema really bad on my legs. And now my legs are starting to clear up a bit. I'm still
showing those legs off. He's gonna next week. He's gonna be wearing them booty shorts.
I probably will be wearing those booty because you know my booty looks good for 52. I'm looking in the mirror going, "Oh, I got that apple bottom, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay when it comes to that booty. That booty is looking pretty good.
The booty is juicy.
It's not juicy. I'm not gonna say it's juicy. I'm realistic. You know, I try to be as realistic as I possibly can when it comes to my body. And my body is not a bad body. I know that my legs used to be like the most amazing things on the planet, but because of eczema, they got torn up, and I get that. I can handle that. So I just try to treat my legs, make sure they stay moisturized, make sure I do all the stuff that I need to do. But there's going to be patches, and there's going to be that. And I'm going to have to deal with that. But when it comes to, you know, the rest of my body, I'm like, you know what? I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
You know, the younger kids who walk up into my room and their bodies are like all over the place, and I'm like,
don't talk about me like that.
No, honey, I'm not talking about you. I just want to say this. You know, young kids, stop. You know, the thing is that your grandparents are not the grandparents that they were before. We take care of ourselves now. We sometimes look better than you, so we're okay with that. And still could drink and party and all this other stuff, but we still look better than you sometimes.
Me.
But you should enjoy. I wish I'd enjoyed who I was when I was younger. This is why I love, oh my God, this is why I love the younger generation. Y'all have taught love for yourselves.
Body positivity.
They
really have. Even for the younger things, because I still grew up in a very dysphoric
and taking away the shame. You know, my generation, if you talk to a lot of gay men in my generation, we had to live with the shame of being gay. We had to live with that shame for a long time. You guys do no longer have to live with that shame. Now there's
still some people that are just kind of.
I know it's a small percentage,
but when you find people in the same, but when you find those people that are about it, like my ex was like a fucking skinny ass twink with a 6-pack, an amazing body, and then I remember one day I was like, "What the fuck am I doing with you?" Like I want a big old bear, but but at the same time, it's just like you appreciate my body and I appreciate your body, and it's crazy that is an actual thing.
Exactly. But the fact of the matter is that his body was the way he wanted his body to be, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
And your body was the way he wanted to be,
luscious,
and he was not.
Juicy.
And neither one of you had a problem with that.
No,
you
absolutely not.
You might not have gotten along when it came to emotional and other
he started dating a guy that was like twice bigger than me.
Exactly.
So I think he was a chaser. I think I came into terms with that. Jesus, if you listen up to me, fuck you. But
okay, but can you understand that?
No. Yeah.
That completely. And mine actually not have, for the first time in I don't know how long. It doesn't have anything to do with your body. It might have something to do with you. And I think a lot of I know, and a lot of us have a hard time with that.
I mean, yes. I don't think there's. I'm just a viber. I really just vibe. And I think he just chased someone with a little bit more. I think he's one of those people that chases people that are just abusive because the guy was an asshole and I didn't like, they always go back to those people because he dated someone super abusive before me. And then I was just chill. I'm like, he's like, can I do that? And he's like, can I go suck this dick? I'm like, go suck this dick. Like, do whatever.
But guess what? That's not your problem, right?
It's not my problem anymore. I'm done.
And it has nothing to do with your self-esteem. This is why I love you kids. This is what you've taught me. To stop worrying about that.
It really is. It's just
stop worrying about that. It's like, for the first time, I am now learning from the kids. The
kids are teaching. Yes. They might be teaching stupid shit.
It's not about...
And TikTok dances, but we teaching things.
Exactly, yes. I'm okay with the TikTok
We're teaching
dances.
the WAP dances, baby. The kicks
I love
into
the WAP.
Splits into the floor humps.
Exactly. Put that pussy into the floor, girl. Put that pussy into the floor.
Better be in the grave.
In the grave.
Deep down, 6 feet under.
Exactly. But the last show that I did was last week with a friend of mine. We were both in the same age group, and we literally said that we are apologizing to the millennials and the Gen Zers because I'm sorry for the world that you've inherited. That's our fault. And we had to apologize for that.
I mean, at the same time, it's
let me hold on, girl. I'm gonna let you get there. However, both of us have learned something.
Yeah.
We've learned from watching you kids that you've made our lives better because we're watching you.
Because you guys, I'm sorry to say this, and I'm not talking about you specifically, but you guys are so programmed to think a way. There's this one way of thinking, and then it's just like, baby, there is more than 101 ways to go around this route. You can go under the mountain, you can go over the mountain, you can go around the mountain, through the mountain.
It's causing so much confusion in my generation.
Because it's just like we're looking at the way that just like because we see these problems that our parents have faced and their generations before have faced, and I'm just like, why are you dealing with this? We can go around this. We can work through it. There is therapy. There is psychological help, and therapy is incredible because like I didn't do therapy until I started actually RVing and stuff, and therapy is incredible. Therapy is liberating, and people look at it from an older generation as a burden, as something that you shouldn't talk about. But I'm like, my mom is like, oh, we should go to therapy. I'm like, bitch, I went to therapy when I said I was going to go to therapy. It's your time to go. She's like, but I'm scared. I'm scared of what? These people are not here to judge you. They're here to help you and help you progress. And she's like, I'm like, no, girl. I'm like, I know you're never going to go to therapy, but I'm going to tell you my life has been better. Talking about someone and them helping me get through these obstacles. Like my therapist helped me through my breakup a lot. My therapist helped me find, because he's like, where do you want to do? Do you want to stay in Albuquerque? And I was like, no. He's like, okay, where do you have in mind? I was like, I really want to go to Santa Fe. He's like, Santa Fe sucks. He's like, you can go there, but you'll be with a bunch of native old people. Then he's like, how about Texas, California, Florida, New York? Then he's like, have you ever thought about like moving to a bigger city because there's more opportunity? And right now, since the pandemic is happening, then I was like, Houston? He's like, Houston is nice. He sends me links the next day. Like these are jobs. These are places you can apply. These are links. These are gay links for you. And it just like helps, it's like a guidance counselor that actually listens.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
As we're two people of color and to be able to talk about, what's happening in our groups as two people of color, more people are starting to seek out therapy in our groups.
Yeah,
for the longest time,
it's not a thing.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
I am the first
Black
person
and
out
Hispanic
of my whole
people.
family.
I know. Black and Hispanic people, we don't do therapy.
They don't. They think they can get over it, and
they think it's a ridiculous thing that you get over, or you go see Or you go see your priest or pastor or what have you.
No. My mama prays to Jesus. My mom tells me every night, she sends me a praying link. And she tells me Jesus is gonna save me. I'm like, baby, no, therapy's gonna save me.
But we are now understanding what therapy can do for us now. And it has become a thing.
It is a thing.
And I'm like, oh my God.
It's always been a thing, but we've always looked at it as such a, what is it, a blasphemous.
Yes, it's a blasphemous thing to do.
Yeah, because like, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about your sexual feelings. No. You can't talk about your feelings. You can't talk about things that you don't.
And the problem is though, is that therapy, and this is what therapy always gets. White people can understand this. Because white people are okay with it.
Fucking white people in their therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you guys, though, but fuck you.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You know why Black and Hispanic parents always have a problem with therapy? Because therapy always blames the parents. And Black and Hispanic parents
they're pretty
don't like to be the blame of why their kids.
They don't
like to be the blame.
They really don't.
They really don't. So the idea, when they enforce the idea... You don't need therapy, girl, because no, you don't need that.
You don't need therapy.
You just need to go to
pray to Jesus. My mom was always like, pray to Jesus.
Exactly. And
like,
black parents are the same thing. Oh, just go to church and you'll be fine. Just go to church and you'll be fine.
I'm like to my mom, I'm gay.
But we never get to the heart of...
I love punk rock.
Yeah, exactly. But therapy now, for both groups, is now starting to become a... Wait a minute, I just really want to be me, to the best me that I want to be.
Yeah, and it really does help you. Because
it really does help.
It really, sometimes you're down and you feel certain ways, and then they're the person to uplift you. Not uplift the idea or any sort of... they're here to uplift you. Like, let me make you a better you. That's what they're doing.
Exactly. But here's the thing. This is why I think that black people and Hispanic people have a hard time with therapy. We don't get to be, and I think you explained it.
Yeah.
Actually, you did explain it, and I'm sorry. You
Say
did
it
explain
again. Elaborate.
And I would like to elaborate. When we go to our priest, when we go to our church, it's all about you need to be better for the community. When we go to therapy says, why don't you be better for yourself? What do you want to do? How old do you want to be? We get
therapy asks those questions that we don't think about, but we think about.
We were not told to think about because we're told to.
It's just like
be a
avoid it, and then when you cross the bridge, you cross the bridge.
Because we're taught to be a part of the dynamic. We can't be individuals. So yeah. We're part of the dynamic.
It's so true.
When you're a big family, you have to be the family. You don't have a personality you're not an individual in the family. You are the family. So when they see you, they don't see you as a person. They see you as part of the family.
Yeah.
But when we get out in the world and we have to figure out how to do, we don't know how to be an individual. And
we're part of the group.
Yeah, exactly.
And then sometimes part of the group actually, what is it called? Alienates you. That's the word I was going to.
But it keeps us from doing the things that we want to do.
Yeah, and I think also I've traveled everywhere. I've met so many incredible people, and I've learned to trust people more. Trust strangers. That sounds so bad.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have one older sister.
You have one older sister.
She's my mom. If I talk about her, I cry because
is she?
She's
married.
She's married. She has kids. Completely different. My sister is a year and a half older than me. And my sister raised me like her child, even though she was 1 year and 5 months older than me. And she cooked for me. She washed my clothes. She taught me how to do everything because my parents. They're first generation. I'm sorry, we're first generation, so they believed in work. Fuck the kids. Go to work. Here's some stuff. You can heat it up on the stove for you to eat. I was what is it called? A keyhole kid. That is what I am.
How bad? How do you feel about your life? The fact that you can actually get out and when you look at your sister is married. She has kids.
She has a husband.
She has a husband. Her life is a certain way, but your life
is completely different. I'm single and
you
gay.
can
I'm living.
Do whatever you want to do.
I probably have syphilis right now because I have sex so much.
You probably, yeah. You probably do, but
I do. I try to go.
So
to the doctor.
when you go back to family reunions and you tell those stories and everything else,
my cousins really idolize me because I'm living a modern day hippie life. Mm-hmm. My cousins completely. I know that some of my cousins completely love me, mm-hmm. but to the parents, and I might cry a little bit, but I feel like in their view of me, I'm a disgrace. I am not someone
mm-hmm.
successful.
But do you know why?
Because that's their way of thinking. That is their way of thinking. But if I was to sit down with them and point out things, I was like, I worked at a restaurant where I've made more than my mom and dad combined, and they both worked 2 full-time jobs, and I worked part-time job. I was making $2,000 a night at a restaurant, and I worked just the weekends and then on Mondays. Walk out with like $7,000 for working 3 days. Restaurant jobs. I did drag for so long. I did not talk to my parents for 3 years because they kicked me out for doing drag, and I created a whole drag career. Mm-hmm. I did not talk to them. Then once they saw that I was successful with what I did, they came out and communicated with me again because they missed their son. They saw the reason of kicking me out of their house is because I did drag, and they didn't want me to come back into the house until I completely dropped the idea of me doing drag. Mm-hmm. And I made a career out of it.
So you were gonna let me ask you a question. Oh, we're in this part of the episode, which I'm so glad. So in this part of the episode, what do you think that they wanted for you? They
wanted me to be a football player with a wife and kids by now. In their eyes, I would have already had 3 kids, a beautiful, probably white wife. Mm-hmm. And a former football player, and I'll probably be working for Comcast with an associate's degree, obviously. Maybe even a bachelor's if I really tried. But as of right now, I am a unemployed drag queen with a really good back, like a really good resume. Mm-hmm. You know, I've done a lot, but I don't do anything to impress them. I do things that make me happy, and I continue doing them. And sometimes, right now, like, I'm at a fucking low point of my life, and I know after this week is over, I'm going to be a fucking better place because I have a job. I have so many opportunities coming for me, but just like this week has been just terrible. This week has been depressive as fuck. Mm-hmm. But I'm just like, shut up. Get over it. You saw how I was today. Mm-hmm. Like when I first came in here, I was a completely different person, and now talking to another human being and expressing my life and everything has really uplifted me. And I really do commend you for letting me be part of this podcast because it gives me something to look forward to, mm-hmm. and it really just makes me happy because it's just like shit is tough. Like I'm in a new city without a partner in crime, doing shit on my own, and it just sucks, It really does suck. That's what real life is. It just sucks. I'm not from here. I don't have rich parents to send me money. Like, I'm doing this all on my own, and, like, I have to hustle. Like, fucking TMI, I'm a sex worker. Mm-hmm. I do that. So that has been a very hard thing on my life because right now we're in quarantine, and a lot of men don't want to pay for stuff that I do. So it's just, like, another hit on my can't do drag for money, can't do sex work for money, now I have to find a job to do money. And it's just like a lot, you know what I mean? It's just like two out of my 3 jobs that I do have been completely eliminated. So I have to resort into the job that I never really relied on to make money. Mm. So it's just like, oh, fuck. This is real life.
No, I want to say this.
Yeah.
I
just explained everything to me, TMI, but
I want to explain this, and this is funny and ironic. I watched the whole episode of how RuPaul did all her shit.
Yeah.
And guess what? You guys are doing the same shit too. Mm-hmm. And you guys need to do that. You need to do that. You need to get away from the idea of, I'm sorry, look at you. Your family did the stuff that they needed to do, but that's not you.
No, it's not
That
me.
was never you.
No, never. I told you what they wanted
But
me.
you should not. But here's the thing. We have been told, and I'm going to put this on my thing too, because for the longest time, I did the same thing. I was told that I shouldn't do that kind of thing because
it's not ideal.
It's not ideal. My brothers and everything else.
It's not what they wanted.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I have seen so many things. I've done so many things. This is what you need to do. I'm sorry. It is what you need to do.
Yeah.
It is horrible and it is terrible because it makes you
creates a better person.
It makes you a better person.
I think it gives you wisdom.
It's not about wisdom. It's about you doing your thing. You know, I look at my brothers and everything else, and they're living their life the way that they want to live it, and they should.
Yeah,
that's their life. That's how they want to live it, and I'm not going to take away from that. Nor am I going to make fun of it because it's fantastic. That's their life. What I got over was the fact that I stopped trying to be that person to them.
Yeah.
I stopped trying to be important when it comes to my thing. I'm always going to be the outsider, and I'm okay with being the outsider. They have their things, and they've lived up to and worked to get that.
Yeah.
They deserve the credit.
No. Yeah,
they deserve the credit
right.
for doing it.
They've worked very hard, and they're at the position that they're at.
But for me,
it's not something that I want.
It's not something that I want, and it's okay with that.
It is okay, and it's nice to hear someone to say that it's okay, because, like, you know, it's validation for something that is completely not in the norm, period.
I don't worry about the norm. There's no such thing as a norm. I mean, the norm is ridiculous.
The constructed norm. But I feel like for me, it's just like you telling me it's okay. Like some people saying, like, it's okay. I'm happy that you're doing this. I'm happy that you're doing that. And it's nice to hear support from someone else that's in the same field or in the same walk of life that I'm going through to validate it. Because it's just like, you know, sometimes you're just doing stuff and you're like, is this worth it?
But, you know, we had to validate it because we see the potential that you have.
Absolutely.
And where you can go with this. And you need to do that. We see that. I know it. Look, I've done this. I'm going to say this. I did this before with a couple of friends of mine who had the potential to do it.
Yeah.
And they chose not to. And I had to deal with that. I literally had to deal with that. But they had to do the things that they need to do for themselves.
Absolutely.
But I see what you can do. And by the way, even with them, I always saw what they could do. If you want to do something, do it. Always do it because that's what you need to do. That's the thing that you need to do. I will always support you when you need to do it, even if I don't like it. I will support you. That's all you need to do. So do that, and that's the kind of thing that you need to do. But for the most part, when I look at you and think about the potential and the things that I bring up, because I see the artistic side, I see the whole thing, I see all the stuff that you could do, I do that because that's what I do. And I have no problem with that. And that's what I want to do. I want to develop the whole thing. Yeah. And I know what you guys can do. I really do know what you can do. So do that and think about what you could possibly stop unbelieving in yourself. When someone else tells you that you have the potential to do something,
do it. Yeah, well, I mean, just like take the chance. Like, take the chance. Take the chance.
Because the chance. You know, when I lay in bed and those people tell me the same thing, you know, I have the same heart. I have the same thing too. When people tell me, Joel, do you realize what you could do? You can do this, and I have to go, I don't know if I can. Even I get scared. I get scared.
Being scared is
because
part of,
people have told me, Joel, do you know what you can do? You can do this. And I'm like, oh, my God, I don't know if I can. I might be over my head. I shouldn't do that. And they always go, Joel, you can do this. You can do it.
You can do it. It's just part of, just.
It is part of the thing.
Part of the life, the I guess the steps of doing it, Mm-hmm. It sucks, but at the same time, it's just like, if I do it, no one's going to say, if I do it and I succeed, the amount of people.
Exactly. What happens if I succeed? How do I keep that going? How do I make sure that happens?
But if you succeed and fail, nobody gonna care.
Yeah, I
know. No one's gonna care.
No, but I want to make sure
I succeed. Yeah, succession is.
By the way, I have a plan, and I do really have a plan on what I want to do, mm-hmm. and I'm always about helping everybody else do their thing. And, a part of that plan means that I get left in the background, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that everybody does their thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that Houston is a place that it can happen.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at Blackberry. I know what you can do for your thing. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we will talk about another time. But I think that you could do your thing. And I think that that's something that can happen. So I always believe in that and everything else. But I just want to make sure that it's not something that is not a thing that does not happen. I'm always looking at you guys because you guys do have the thing.
We've done it. We've created this whole.
But by the way, I'm going to tell you something right now. I've thought about this. That means that I also have
potential in the whole thing.
Yes.
So, but I mean, if we do carry on with a project, obviously you're going to be with us. Well, I mean, at least with me.
I'm not worried about that. If I get you guys together, mm-hmm. anything that you guys do, I'm going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I'm okay with it. I just need to make sure you guys understand something. You can do certain things that you need to do here. That's what you need to do. Yeah. I will find the venues for you to do it. I will make sure.
If you give me a venue, mm-hmm. and you give me if you give me a venue, mm-hmm. baby, I can make it happen.
But I can help you do that. So let's call this a day.
Yeah.
Let's call this a day. I'm gonna put on a different set of headphones. So we're gonna call this a day. Keep talking. What are you doing?
Okay. So we're here chilling. We killed a bottle of A&J brandy. So again, our show has been sponsored to you by...
Our show has been sponsored by... And he could have done it. He could have literally done it.
I know. I just want to say that name wrong.
Tubi's woodworking. Tubi gives you wood.
He gives us that real wood. He woods us down.
He works us down. It works us down. So we're gonna call it a day. I think. I'm gonna. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna play this because this is. You need to hear this. This is the bottom anthem.
Let's do it.
Oh my God, this is the bottom anthem in the show. Anthem.
Is this our exiting song?
It might be our exiting thing.
Okay, cheers to the queers and everything else in between.
So we're gonna take this down. I'm gonna take this down. Okay. So say good night.
Good night, everyone. Drive safe. Don't drink and drive.
By the way, you're gonna end the show at the end, but we're gonna do this bottom anthem.
Yo, this is a special message for all of my bottom subscribers, my verse bottoms, and even my versatiles who like the bottom maybe more than they top. I want to let you know that I love, appreciate, and celebrate your bottom ass. Because if it wasn't for you, us tops would not have the type of sexual experience that we get a chance to have. It is because of you and your willingness and your ability to adapt to our bodies that gives us pleasure. Not only that, but I see what my nigga has to go through every single time it's time for us to do what we do. It's a process. You all have to go to the bathroom. You all have to clean out. You all have to and just say thank you. Thank you for going to the gym and keeping that ass looking so amazing and wonderful. Thank you for having your booty hole smell like roses and vanilla and my dude, he likes to use cocoa, not the cocoa butter, but the gel on his booty hole. Listen, I am grateful that you all go through whatever steps you have to go through just to give us pleasure. And I want to let you know that here on this page, you are celebrated, you are lifted up, you are treated as royalty, because so many times tops get this, oh, it's all about the tops. It ain't about the motherfucking tops. Yeah, some of us know how to put it down, some of us know what we're doing, but we would be nothing without you dope-ass bottoms who don't mind bending over, opening up them legs, and making sure that we have the time of our motherfucking lives. Thank you.
Hey, so we're going to end this show. We're going to end this with the credits. Hey, produced by Joel Tatum of Joel and Tatum Productions. Produced by Mr. I'm sorry. Why don't you do your thing? Who are...
Put me up. Put my microphone up.
Okay. There you go.
Hey, ladies. Oh, that's not the mic.
Wait a minute. That's not your mic.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget that this show has been produced to you by Joel Taintum and co-host Charlotte Shotgun. And our sponsor this week has been Truvy's Woodwork. Don't forget to use Lil Gay to get 20% off. Alright, we'll see you next week, babes.
We'll see you next week.